Okay, let's look at application of perfect squares today in our quadratic factors or quadratic expressions. As we were asked to perfect the square or to express 2x to the power 2 plus 4x as a perfect square. How do we go about that? Let's start going through that carefully. This I would like you to pay proper attention to understand the steps involved in trying to perfect a particular square that has to do with quadratic problems. Now, solution. To perfect 2x squared plus 4x, to make it a perfect square, the first thing to do, I'm giving us the steps now to take. The first step is to understand your first variable and your second variable and even your third variable. Your first variable is the variable that has the highest power, or is the variable with the degree, which is power 2. So here's our first variable. This is our second variable. If there's any number attached to it, that will become our third variable. But your first variable is the one that has the power 2, followed by your second variable, the one that has power 1. There's a power 1 here, but not shown for you to see. Then we have the constant with it. But in this case, this expression, we only have two numbers here, 2 raised to power x and 4x. Now, the first thing to do to perfect this, to make this a perfect square, is divide through by the coefficient of the first variable. Divide through by the coefficient of the first variable. Divide through by the coefficient of the first variable. And that coefficient is 2. Remember, a coefficient is a number attached to a letter or a variable by times. So I'm going to divide through by 2. I will have 2x to the power 2 plus 4x divided by 2 divided by 2. I will divide everything that we have there by 2. So 2 we cancel 2 and 2 we cancel 4, will be left with 2. So what we have left is x raised to the power 2 plus 2x. The next step to take is to find the half of the second variable. Find the half of the second variable. Find the half of the second variable. That will become x raised to the power 2 plus 1 over 2 times, I'm using dot as my times 2x, which is the half of the second variable. Find the half of the second variable. In that case, these two we cancel out the other 2 because you can cancel them out. So what we have next here is x raised to the power 2 plus x. That's what is left. That is what is left. Then the next step to take is to find the difference of 2 squared brackets in this form. Now, in the first bracket, you're going to write the independent variable x alone plus the coefficient of the second variable. Here, our second variable has a coefficient of 1, but it is not mostly written in some cases. So there we have coefficient of 1. So in the first bracket you have x plus 1, and in the next bracket you write only the coefficient of that second variable. So here is the perfect square. So you can express it further by saying x plus 1 all raised to the power 2 minus 1 times 1 is 1. So here's the final result. That's the final result. Let's quickly solve another problem to help you understand better. We have, let's consider this. We are asked to make this a perfect square. 5x to the power 2 minus 4x. Make it a perfect square. Step 1, I said, divide everything by the coefficient of the first variable. And the coefficient of the first variable in this case is 5. So I will divide everything by 5. So I'm going to have 5x to the power 2 divided by 5 minus 4x divided by 5. 5 will cancel 5. We'll be left with x squared minus 4 over 5x. The next step, you ask to find the half of the second variable. Find the half of the second variable. So we'll be having x raised to the power 2 minus 1 over 2 times 4 over 5x, which is the half of the second variable. If you wish to cancel now, you can cancel because 2 can cancel 4. So we have 2 cancelling 4. You have a 2. So what we have left will be x raised to the power 2 minus 2 over 5x. Then the next step I said, find the difference of two squared brackets. So we have first bracket squared minus second bracket squared. And I said in the first bracket, write the independent variable, which is x, put it here, and the coefficient of the second variable, which is minus 2 over 5. Minus 2 over 5 is the coefficient of the second variable. So I'll write it as minus 2 over 5. You will not put the x attached to it, please. The first bracket, write the independent variable alone, x, and the coefficient of the second variable, which is 2 over 5, minus 2 over 5. In the second bracket, write the coefficient of the second variable alone, which is minus 2 over 5. This, of course, has become a perfect square, but we can advance it further by solving. Here we have x minus 2 over 5 all squared minus, if you open up this bracket, minus 2 over 5 times minus 2 over 5 will give us a plus result, but that will be plus 4 over 25. Plus 4 over 25. So here is a perfect square. So in our next other class, we shall be dealing with a method known as completing the square method, which will just be an extension of perfect square. So see you in our next other class.